When I think of Detroit, I think of the time where me and my best friend Jessica went down with her mom and basically explored all the streets. We saw burned down buildings, but we also saw buildings that were in great shape, working towards a better future.
When I think of Detroit, I usually think of like sports, like the Tigers, and the Lions, and the Red Wings, and how great of a sports community the city is.
When I was little, I keep going down to Detroit for the Thanksgiving Day Parade every year, and me and my dad and my sister always go, and sometimes we go with my cousins, and we always go out to eat after. It's really fun.
When I think of Detroit, I think of a city with an amazing past and history, and we're going to rebound and get back to what it was like in the old days.
There's so much culture that Detroit offers, and just going down there is always a special moment because you can find something different every time you go.
When I think of Detroit, I think of opportunity. A lot of times people want to talk about a crisis or something that's falling apart. But within every problem, there's an opportunity. When I was a kid moving from New York to Chicago, Chicago was in a similar spot to where Detroit was. And over my lifetime in Illinois, I got to watch that city be reborn and built into one of the premier cities in the world. There's no reason Detroit can't do that.
The interdisciplinary study was created when North Farmington did the musical Hair. And the whole issue was that with the controversial topics covered in the musical, there's a lot of people who did not want North to do the musical unless some way or somehow they were able to work it back into the curriculum. And that was the birth of the interdisciplinary study. And then every year, the interdisciplinary transformed into something else. But in the past few years, the interdisciplinary study kind of fell apart a little bit. And what we're trying to do now is bring it back to life. So a few years ago, the topic was Our Town, Detroit. And things with interdisciplinary would start to kind of repeat, which is why we ultimately decided to do Our Town, Detroit one more time this year.
Being a part of the Interdisciplinary Study Committee has really given me more insight into the city and what we can do to spread awareness and help out. And as you guys can see, there are signs in the hallway which represent the different streets of the city. And that's just to, induce the theme and kind of show you guys what we're trying to do. And another thing that we're trying to do is kind of overcome the media opinion on Detroit, and show that there really are a lot of brighter parts of Detroit that really have opportunity, because that's what Detroit's all about.
My name is Elias Khalil, and I'm a Farmington Public Schools teacher. And this year I'm on sabbatical, which is allowing me the opportunity to do some community development projects. The main project that I'm working on for the community redevelopment is this site here, the Cass Corridor Museum. And what we're doing right now in this space is trying to prepare the space. We are in a turn-of-the-century Victorian home in the basement, or as we like to say, underground. And we are preparing this space physically for the Cass Corridor Museum's first home. So what we're seeing in the Cass Corridor is a great transformation, a great renaissance, a lot of influx of young professionals, investors, people who are craving an urban experience. What we hope to do is use this as a model for how other areas that are clusters or nodes of concentration of buildings and people, how those areas can also be transformed. And so then we will find that we have 3, 4, 5 kind of mini main streets or downtowns throughout the city of Detroit, which makes it a very interesting and cool place to visit and live in. There's a lot going on that people, especially people in the suburbs of Detroit, don't really know about, because it's not something covered extensively by our media. So you really only find out about it by knowing people who are involved in it, or if you come down on a more regular basis. This year, North's interdisciplinary theme is Detroit, as it was a few years back before you were at North. And what we'd like to do is continually remind North students that Farmington Hills is part of Detroit. We're one region. And the more that we can cooperate and collaborate, the better our quality of life for everyone involved. So I'm really excited about North taking interest in this project, the community redevelopment initiatives that I'm involved in this year, and I'm hoping that North will continue to be supportive in many ways, and I welcome all of you to come down and see how that interdisciplinary theme is not just a concept but a reality that you can get involved with.
Opportunity made in Detroit.